it just purges for a doubling amount of time. Every time you do it, it doubles how long. And purges have always cleared all the past text. As far as I know, anyway. Oh, it's gonna get me some wet socks. Is there a way to do it separately? I don't know how high I want to build this. Nope. Our high efficiency furnaces have PVC or ABS or whatever intake and exhaust. I don't care. Like, the grass gets covered in snow. It doesn't matter. The question is, how can I pack this in so that it'll stay relatively stable? Or do I want to just like slope it on the backside? I'm building a wall. Well, I can beat it with a shovel a bit. Wow, someone's in a mood today. Nothing lasts forever. But that's what makes it beautiful. You don't love something because it's permanent. Let's try to fill in the bottom a little bit first. No, I won't charge the neighbors for this wall. This will be entirely on my own property. I think the table's gonna work okay though. This wall increases how happy I am. That's what it increases. Okay, that was a bit much. You can have your opinion, Lucy. We can all remind... What's the snow lantern? We can all remind Lucy about the sculpture she had commissioned in the backyard when it comes to her sense of aesthetics. Now, I built Kevin to your exacting specifications. And we all know how that turned out. I didn't know that was a thing. I'd never heard of that until now. Well, it was, you requested a family. And provided a very particular budget you wanted to stay within. So I gave you a few options. And then based on your option choices and your provided budget, I built to your specifications. This is how contractors do. Now you can say you want the Taj Mahal and hand me a $20 bill, and you'll get as much of a Taj Mahal as a $20 bill gets you. You did not ask for a detailed quote with line items and costs and materials and labor breakdown. Caveat emptor, am I right? I was watching a sign stream last night, and the all I want for Christmas is a baby carrot, but it costs extra, and I don't want to pay. All I want for Christmas is a baby carrot. So I was watching the science stream, and they were trying to watch this supposed news, science news that came out. And one of the scientists in the video said something to the effect of, the data is this. And of course I had to freak out at that. Science person saying data is. Because for anyone who's not a science person, you might not know, but data is actually the plural form. And yeah, that's how you you work yourself out of a lot of jobs. And that's fine if you're a tradie working for a contractor, but if you're working for resi customers, you got to be willing to break it down more. Yeah, well, see, the thing is, a lot of people either don't know about getting detailed quotes, or when you provide them with one, they think you're not willing to provide a detailed quote. As long as there's snow around. But the problem with, and this applies to tradies, this applies to contractors, this is something that homeowners should know. Problem with round figure quotes is it's just based entirely on what the guy feels like, and you're always going to be overpaying. The round figure quotes of, well, this is what the job is worth, are always going to get the homeowner overpaying. When I was trying to get my meter moved, I was calling around to different plumbers, and this one guy is like, oh yeah, I can do that. Okay, how much? $900. I'm like, what? It's like maybe 10 feet of PEX. It's gonna take you half an hour. And his response was literally, I don't care, that's what the job is worth. Now, if Andy is the one guy in 1,000 who is quoting accurately and fairly, then great. But as a rule, that doesn't happen when you get round numbers. You get a round number like that, this is job cost, and it's always an inflated cost. And to me, it's a sign that someone doesn't want to make the effort to make an accurate quote. Now, if someone doesn't want to make an effort to make an accurate quote, that's a sign to me that they're going to not make an effort in other ways too. I mean, if it's working for you, it's working for you. See, and that sort of response right there, I'll inflate the price because I don't want the job. If you're being honest with someone, just tell them, I don't want to do this job. This is going to be more fuss than it's worth, and I'm gonna have to overcharge just to make it worth the misery aspect of it. And if they still want to pay you for it, then fine. And that's fair too. And to me, my response to that is, well, that's cost of doing business. Well, you say in your quote, it says this is valid for this length. If they come back in 3 years and say, oh, I want this price you quoted me 3 years ago, your response is simple. Well, it says on the quote that was valid for this many days, so that's not valid anymore. A lot of things change in 3 years. Easy peasy. Like if you're doing work for, if you're a tradie, if you're a contractor, and you're doing work if it's 60 days, it's 60 days. So one of the things that tradies and contractors need to learn if they want to be customer facing in their position is that kind of grief is just part of the job. It's a cost of doing business. If you want to make the more money because you're cutting out some other contractor, because you're getting away from the big plumbing company and you're starting off on your own, that's just like, yeah, it is really wet. That's just like, that's the job. Your job is now not just plumber. Your job is also sales. And sales got to deal with that mess. Your job is also customer relations. Your job is also marketing. Your job is also all of these things. So anytime a tradie turns around and says, I don't give accurate quotes because customers are a pain in the butt, maybe you shouldn't be dealing with customers then. Because it's fun. Well, this is a thing that not just applies to the tradies, but applies to anyone who ever might hire a tradie, whoever might hire a contractor. If you're hiring a contractor, if you're hiring a trade, they should be willing to do the job of the contractor, of the sales, of all the things that they're on a yellow sticky note. Like that's going to be binding, right? They come back and finish the work and say, okay, now that's twice as much as what it says on the yellow sticky note. You argue with them. They put a lien on your house. You don't have much of a leg to stand on if that's all you got. If someone doesn't want to provide a full written quote, it's because they don't want to do their job at that time. And at the time of generating a quote, their job is to provide a full written quote with all the terms and conditions. And if they don't want to do that job at that time, why should you trust them to do the rest of the job when it comes time? If they're not willing, when they're doing their job as salesperson, to do their job properly, why do you think you can trust them to do the job properly? And like I said, I'm not saying that you are the bad guy. You could be the 1 in 1,000 who's doing a good job. But for most people, most of the time, that sort of attitude is reflected in the rest of the work that gets done. So you could be the one standout stellar contractor whose word is as good as his handshake, and does a good job, warranties his stuff, follows up on the warranty. But for the most part, if someone wants to be customer facing, but they don't want to deal with the customer in the ways that customers expect, then right? Well, this is why I've been doing so much of this myself. I kind of want to bring it out this way a little bit. What do you think? There's not much snow to carry it down this way, but I could continue the wall out here. Not here, it doesn't.